Hello, future engineers. Today we are going to be going over drawing practice 1. So if we're looking at creating a drawing file, this is drawing file practice 1. In this activity, you are going to complete 3 stages of designing a part. You're going to go into modeling, creating the drawing file, and dimensioning. You'll need to add screenshots of your progress to ensure that you don't mess up an early stage and have to redo a later stage. So this first part is called GoPro. And some of you may have already completed this part, but we're gonna go over it and then we're gonna add a screenshot of our properties, we're going to throw in our drawing file, and then we're gonna do a multi-view. So let's get right into it. We've got this opened up and I'm gonna use this and go into Inventor. So let's go over into Inventor and we're gonna create a new drawing file or new part file. So let's hit create and we're gonna start drawing out GoPro. So GoPro has a rectangular base, very much like what it is inspired off of. And it is a 1.25 by 1 rectangle. So I'm gonna take that sketch and I'm going to finish that. I'll hit E to extrude, and this first surface is extruded out 0.38. I'm going through this quickly because you should have this part down pretty easy by now. Just gonna add on that half circle that has a radius of 5 or a diameter of 1. I'm gonna use my project geometry to get those edges over here so that when I trim, I can remove those very quickly. I know I just did that fast, but I know you can keep up. So we'll hit finish sketch and we're going to extrude out that surface, just a distance of 0.12. And now the last thing that we need to do is to add the hole that cuts through. Now that hole has a diameter of 0.5, nope, it's a diameter of 0.38, and it is located 0.25 from this top right corner in both directions, so both in our X and in our Y. So we'll add those in. Cool. We'll hit finish sketch and then we're going to extrude and subtract this out. Cool. Now I've got my part. I'm gonna go over File, I Properties, Physical, and Update. There we go. We should get a volume of 0.45. All right. That sounds good. We'll go into Snipping tool and we're going to create a new snip. Grab all 3 components that I need, copy that, and that goes onto our slideshow over here. So paste that in. And there we go. Got the first part done. Cool. All right, so now we need to create our drawing file. Nice and simple. Let's go into Inventor. We're gonna hit our favorite button in the whole world, New, and go over to the new Stevenson title block. Hit create. Fill in all of our necessary information. Keep it in caps. The drawing scale for this one is going to be 2:1, and what hour we are in, we're in all the hours. There we go. We'll hit OK. All right. Engineering never stops. Here we go. Let's go with a base view. It wants us to save the part. I'm just going to save this part over here. GoPro. Cool. Set my view to 2:1. And then we're going to project up to the side, throw in our isometric, click OK. We'll move our isometric over here. We don't really need to this one in our way. Ooh, I want this all caps. Isometric, turn on the label. There we go. All right, now we're almost done with our drawing file. We do want to include some hidden lines, center marks. So with this, I've got my 3 views, my front, top, and side. So in order to get my center lines and center marks, I go over to annotate, and then over here, I have got symbols. I'm gonna grab center mark, and I'm going to choose this circle and this edge right there. We can see now that the centers are aligned, and that helps us with dimensioning. So trust me on that one, that one's gonna be great. We're also gonna use the centerline bisector to choose and place a center line in between our 2 hidden lines. because we know that the center of this hole goes right through those two lines. So I click this line and this line, and we get a center line right there. Do the same thing over here, still with the center line bisector. Choose my first hidden line, my opposite hidden line, and I now have that center line. Sweet. All right, so now that I have that all in place, this is the next thing that I am going to go grab a snipping tool of, new, grab that out, copy, and that one goes onto our drawing file over here. Cool. So we now have the multi-view all done. The last thing, which is probably the newest part that we're going over right now, is how to add dimensions. So I want to only add dimensions that are the dimensions that I see here. That's a good rule of thumb, is that I'm just looking to add these dimensions. If I find myself adding more dimensions than this, I'm probably over dimensioning the part. If I find myself missing dimensions, if I don't have the ones that are here, then I'm probably missing a dimension too. All right, so let's go through and let's start by adding our overall dimensions into GoPro. So with annotate, I'm gonna grab my dimension tool. I'm gonna throw in my overall, we'll do height in the side view. We'll grab that, throw out a dimension of 1, and we just click OK on that box. So I'm gonna do the same thing, dimension, let's throw in our overall width. I'm gonna use the front view, click from edge to edge, and I'm gonna move this out just a little bit and click. This box will come up to edit the dimension, and we click OK. All right. Now overall depth, I'm gonna do that in my top view over here. Space that out just like so, and click OK. All right, now that I have all of those dimensions, those are my overall dimensions, I'm gonna go through and I'm going to dimension other features. So this circle right here, I wanna say where it is located on my front face. So I'm gonna grab this center mark and this edge and drag this up. So that is a distance of 1 from my edge. I'm gonna do the same thing from this bottom edge over here. And there we go, we have our X and Y. And now we just need one more thing to fully dimension this circle. We need the diameter of it. So we've got the size and location of that circle totally done. Cool. Now, this arc right here, it already has a center point that we know where that is. That's at 0, 0. It's aligned with these two edges. I don't need to throw in any more dimensions to define its location. The center mark is doing the work for me. What I do need to do is to add the size. So I click to add the radius, and we have a little bit of space outside of the drawing, but if you added it in here, I would not be totally upset. I'm gonna leave it right here just because I like to leave the inside as clean as possible. And there we go, we click OK. And now there's one more dimension that we need, and that's because we have 2 different thicknesses. So we have the thickness of this back wall over here, and then this little rounded arc. So I could do that in my side view over here, or I can do it in my top view as well. I'll do it in my top view up here. Just click and drag this out just to show that little difference. I can click OK, and now let's double check. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dimensions. Let's go to my drawing here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dimensions. I've got 8 dimensions for both of them. That is a good indicator that I've done this correctly. All right, so that is going to do it for drawing practice 1. If you have any questions, please make sure that you're reaching out. I'll talk to you later. Bye.